Hello, everybody. I hope you are doing super well. Hey, Shiomara, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to Amy's Inspiration Station. And we are live right now on the Altenew YouTube and Facebook channels. And I'm so excited to be with you today on this little bit of a gray Monday where I am, but I hope that your Monday is super shiny. And that's what we're talking about today is shiny. And everything is bright and everything is shiny today. And we're going to talk metallic paints and what kind of things can we add in? How do you make it so it's not like in your face shiny, but just enough shiny so you can kind of take that sophisticated level? And hello, and I'm assuming we have Han behind the badge today. Let me know. And I see Rondo and I see Melly. Hello. And if you share this live while we're live, you'll be entered to win a gift card to Altenew. And I would love to know what's on your dream list. What is your dream Altenew product that you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I had, or when there's a sale, or I always pick it up when, or I always wish I had. I'd love to know that. Hi, Jane. Hi, Sue. This is Amy on Amy's Inspiration Station. And I got to tell you, I'm excited for what we have today. So I'm playing around with a couple of things. And last week, if you were here with me, I was doing some freehand watercoloring and I played around with a little bit. So I'll show you how that came out. And I had a lot of requests for metallic paints. And so I'm going to dig those out and we're gonna do a little bit with the metallic paints, but I'll kind of share what we have. So I see Carrie and Sue. Sue, we are having a gray day, right? Maybe it's a little bit nicer down where you are, Sue. And Cece, you had the sun today. We did not, Cece. We did not have the sun today. And hi, Tracy. Tracy's also having the sun. Oh my gosh, all these places. And Carrie, Stamp Wheel 2.0. So I had asked, if you're just joining us, I am talking today about shiny elements. How do we keep the shine on? Because it's a little gray where I am, and so I need a little bit more sunshine. And Adriana, you caught alive. Yes. Oh, thank you very much, Mary, for hitting the thumbs up, share, and subscribe if you don't already. And again, please share this live while we're live, and you'll be entered to win the gift card. And Han, you are behind the badge today, right? Let me know. And Tracy, you're almost there on the set, so that's your dream item. So let me know, what's your dream Altenew item? What's the thing that you want to get, or you're like kind of building up towards it like Tracy is? So what happens to be? Oh no, I was going to say, Adriana, yes, you do need to share that sun sometimes. All right. So I am going to go ahead and get started and head down to my craft mat. And I'm excited to share. I know you're like, wow, that looks like black paper. That's not very shiny today, Amy. I know it isn't. So I wanted to start off with what I have. So I worked on this last week. Do you remember this, Han? I was doing this, and I have to say the audience was super great, very, very supportive. And so I came out with this, and I added just a little bit of shading. So this is my loose watercolor. I did all these, painted these all by myself. I even added the little sentiment by myself. And doesn't that just look cute with just under with some black? Or even some dark green. There you go. Just really, really cute little sweet little card there. So we're going to keep those watercolor paints kind of moving along. And I see Seahorse, and who else is here? Tracy, I saw, and Adriana. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are here today. Oh my gosh, Carrie, your Altenew watercolors arrived today. I hope you got the metallic set. I hope you got the metallic set, because that's what we're talking about today. So this is the metallic, and the set that, Carrie, did you get the artist set? I need to know. So this was the set that we used last week. This is the artist set, and it's a great set. And you all, everybody admonishes me because this is kind of like very clean, but it's because I use a palette. All right, everybody, it's because I use a palette. Oh, good, Carrie. So now, Carrie, so you had ideas last time for the regular watercolors. Now we'll get some ideas for the metallics. So this is like, I'm glad you caught both of these. So, and Jane is here. Yes, thank you so much. And Linda, woodless watercolor pencils. Oh my gosh, Linda. Yes, the metallic paints are fabulous. So these come, there's 14 colors. And they really range. I have to say, I love them all. I can't, asking to pick a favorite, it's like, I can't do it. But I just love how you have this warm side from the golds to orange to red. And of course you have this like nice white pearl. And then you have this nice cool set over on the side. We're going to be playing around with a lot of these. And Sue, the pumpkin patch and pretty pumpkin die set. Oh, beautiful. And I do want to say I had asked everybody, what's your dream Altenew product? Like, what's the thing that you would like to grab? And Carrie, we know you already grabbed the watercolor paints, and I'm so glad you did. So now I know you guys are like, wow, what are you going to do with these? You're going to color. And there's a lot. And I love the Altenew videos, right, Han? Because there's so much inspiration in all of those videos. And I'm actually going to be, I don't know. I guess I don't know if these line up perfectly, but I'm going to be playing around with the Craft to Flower Water Lily. And this is such a cute set. This is from 2022. This is on the website. Do I have swatches to show? Oh my gosh, Jane. Yes, I do. Cece, I'm so glad you're with me, that you would like to also like to make sure everything is clean. All right, Jane, I do. So for those of you who don't know me, you know I have my little swatch book, and this is not in black, and I apologize for that, but I should have. Actually, I might not have finished these ones. I got to go back. So I swatch everything, Jane. And so I swatch, like, I even have swatches of like washi tape. I have swatches of the coloring pencils. This is the woodless coloring pencil, but then also like the brush tip pens. And I think this is the 36 pan set. So I like to swatch everything that I get. Brush markers, woodless watercolor pencils. I don't know if I think I need to make tabs for these. That's another thing I have to do. Make tabs. You know? I didn't finish it. I did not finish it, Jane. I feel terrible. Oh, it's a little fussy putting together. Oh gosh, Sue. I haven't tried it yet, so this is going to be new. So these are on white. I would recommend swatching it on black, and I have it hiding somewhere is my black swatch. But you can see on the white, they don't quite pop as much. And so we're going to actually do this on black cardstock, and I'll show you that. And oh, Tracy, you have no idea. I'm not that organized. I wish I was. Hi, Betsy from Illinois. And I see Adriana's here. And we got Classy Sue. I'm just looking at see if there's any questions up there. All right. Adriana, I do everything in a spiral book or I'd have to like create, something because I lose everything. And so I have a little cart next to me where I keep like my paper and my little books. And I even have a book, I showed that before, where I have to like think of ideas to put down. And I do that as well. So I personally think that the metallic, I know I do have to do it today, Jane. I do. I like the metallic watercolors best on black cardstock. And I grabbed, and Altenew does not sell this. So Han, I apologize in advance that we're putting on a product that Altenew does not sell. But you can get these. I just picked this up from my local craft store. And it's just cold press black watercolor paper. And that's because I know I want to be adding water to this. You could add if you have like a really, really strong black cardstock that can handle just a little bit of water, it can handle this too. But I know I want to use some, so I'm going to grab some. So this is the Stonehenge black watercolor paper. And Altenew has some ridiculously fabulous watercolor paper, but it is white. It is awesome, and I love using it. But they don't have black, so that is. And yes, Linda, this is super nice paper. I love using it, and Altenew paper is really great. And we have Michelle from Wisconsin, and Joanne. Hello. It is fun to find the product hunt. I agree with that one. All right, so this is what we're doing today. So I have these pages. I cut two backings out. So I'm going to make two cards today. One's going to be a landscape and one is going to be a portrait. I hope I get to them anyway. And so these are just a little bit shorter than A2. So this is a 5 by 4 1/4. And that's because when I put this on a regular card base, it just gives me a little bit of an edge. And for those of you who like a little bit of an edge, then you're my people. All right. Because I like a little bit of an edge. So that's great. Oh, good. I'm so glad you put that jet black cardstock on there. So because that jet black cardstock would work well too. But again, I'm putting a little bit more water on here. So that's why I'm going to use that. And Oh, yeah, Sue, I know. They just said that about the rain today. Sue and I live near each other, kind of ish. So, all right, so that's what I have. So this is just slightly under an A2 card size. So what I want to start with today, and I have some extra scraps I'm going to be using as well, is I want to create a beautiful base for my Craft to Flower water lily. So I'm going to get to this. I will be here with you, but in just a moment. So I'm going to grab this guy. I have my little paint jar hiding over here. So this is my little paint water. And I'm going to use, this is the fine watercolor brushes, and they come in a variety of sizes from very tiny. I still haven't really used this ridiculously small one. Look how tiny that guy is. He's so small. Doesn't it, Jane? Yes. I think that having that edge, it just creates the perfect frame. And I think, I'm a frame person. What can I say? All right. So we got a 6. So we got ridiculously tiny, somewhat tiny, a 2, a 4, and a 6. And these are all round brushes. These two guys are like really, really small, angled. See how perfectly pointed those two are? They're really, really nice. So I'm going to use these. And one of the things you can do, especially if you're like nervous about freehanding anything, is you can actually use a stencil. And so this is the abstract pattern stencil. And I love using things like this that are abstract and pairing them with a floral or something that, has this really, really beautiful flow to it that's a little bit more deconstructed. So I have this, very, very constructed and highly well put together. And this abstract pattern stencil is kind of neat. And you can use these independent of each other, or you can use them together. And so one way I know what the heck is going on is Altenew has, if you've ever used their stencils, Altenew has put into the stencil these little etchings. I don't know if that helps. Oh, it did, maybe. Maybe not. There we go. So can you see that that's a number 1? It's great. Oh, good, Carrie. Carrie, you are all set for watercolor. I love it. I love it. You're ready to go. And so on these, as long as I keep them going in the same direction, these will all overlap each other. And so that's number 3. And if you're like, I can't see them, this is really, really super tiny, this isn't going to work for me, Amy, you can grab a Sharpie marker, and this is what I end up doing. And I just like write in the number 1. I'll even put little arrows in. I'll do something because that tells me where the heck it's going, what direction I'm moving in. And so I just go right over those numbers. And that way I always know what the heck is going on. So I'm going to start off with this. This is abstract pattern stencil. Let me put my other 2 over there. And I'm going to use this. Let me grab some tape. And I'm just going to put this right down on my thing. Sharpie to highlight the number. Yes, Sue. Great idea. Oh, yeah. With black Sharpie, I agree. I find it easier. Just use some black Sharpie. And as long as you like let that kind of set, it's not going to go anywhere. So you're good. You're good on all those counts. All right. So I'm just going to tape this to my mat. And Han had already put in that this was the, this craft mat is great because it has this little thing in the middle that this is where I can kind of put my cardstock. So I'm going to put this guy right here. And then I'm going to take this stencil and I am going to put it just kind of over it. And I'm going to put this right here. So I know I'm lining it up with this corner. And I can even take just a little bit of extra satin masking tape and just put this right here. So that way it's all ready down. And again, we're talking shine today. So I'd love to know, like, what's your favorite way to add shine to your cards. So we're using metallic inks for right now. I got a couple of other ideas up my sleeve, but this is what I'm doing right now. All right. So I'm going to grab, these are pretty big. So I'm going to grab my number 6 brush. And metallic inks, depending on how much water, and you know what, while you're here, only for you, Jane, I'm going to swatch these out for you, okay? because we have those. Hey, how are you doing, Charlene? How are you doing? I hope you're doing fabulous. It's so nice that you are here. All right. You ready, Han? Do you have a preference of which one I dig into? I think I'm going to go gold. All right. And you can just see this gorgeous color that comes up. And it's nice, and I know it looks like it's a little bit, and it's obviously there's a lot of water here because I just added a ton of water here. So if you use a little bit of less water, so you can see now I'm getting more pigment and less water. And that's why it's important to, you know, kind of think through things. And try, that's why I always like to have this little swatch. So that, Carrie, this is a helpful tip for you. Have some scratch paper where you can kind of play around and make sure that color is where you want it. And that's kind of the thing that you want to do. Oh no, Linda, I hope you are doing well. Have a fabulous day. Thank you for stopping by. All right, so I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to paint in these little sections. And that's the nice thing about a stencil is sometimes, you know, even though this is abstract and I could probably do this freehand, having a stencil here just helps a little bit, especially if you're like nervous, you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, but it just gives you a little bit of structure in an otherwise very, very structureless medium, aka watercoloring. All right, so I don't even know what color this is, but it is really, really nice. So what's nice about all these pans is the color name is actually on the bottom. And you can see I'm putting this on wet on dry. And that's because I want to intensify that color. So if I took a moment and I made this wet, if I wet the paper ahead of time, number one, this could go like under the stencil. And it could also, you know, just not be as intense as I want it. And I want this to be a little bit more intense. And I'm also not using a ton of water, which means that this is going to dry relatively quickly. So it's really something that we're going to be able to play around with, and I won't have to mush up and kind of mess around too bad. But so I'm just starting off. I'm going to grab my package. I think this is probably, I don't know. I got to look now. Their names are so fun. I don't want to mess it up for anybody because I know I will do that. But I love whoever comes up with the names. I love it. All right, so here we go. So again, this is the abstract pattern stencil, and I'm just making a little grounding for my craft-a-flower. All right, so that's all of these guys. It's so nice, Vicki. It's so nice because of the fact that you have this where you have this shine. It's one of those things, and I think just doing these little extra things, and we had some like lovely, lovely suggestions before about like how people add shine, and we have sequins in there, and I'm going to be playing around with a little bit of embossing photo, and it is bronze. The answer is bronze. Whoa. All right, Carrie. Make sure that one's bronze. Hey, Carol, I hope you are doing well. Thank you so much for joining us. And we are talking today about adding a little bit of shine onto your cards. So I'd love to know how you like to add a little bit of shine. All right, I'm going to take this one. This is a really, really super nice red. I think this one is garnet. And I'm just going to start over here because I think that's a little too wet. There we go. Okay. So again, the water that you add, you can take these to a little bit pale, which probably makes sense given the fact that this is a little bit of a background. And I don't want this to be the main star. I want my craft-a-flower to end up being the main star. But I'm just adding a little bit of color. And my flower is going to be like a red pink. So I'm starting to go or trying to go with those colors. So I'm keeping the palette a little bit similar. All right, so I'm going to lift this stencil off, and then I'm just going to hit this with my heat gun and dry. Ooh, glossy accents, Jane. That's a good one. White color or white paste with stencils. All right, and then let's see. You guys ready? And that is stencil 1. And you just have this really cute. So again, this is abstract patterns. We're going for an abstract pattern. That is the idea that we're going to add on to this. And that's already relatively dry. It's just these little guys. I'm just going to hit this really cool, like fast with my heat gun. And I think I'm going to add some silver in. A little bit of green and a little bit of silver. That's cute already. It already reminds me of like a little bit of like a Christmas card. All right, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to put this guy back down, and I just want to go to the second stencil. And I don't think I want to do the third stencil. It's going to be a game time decision. But with these layered stencils, what's fun is you can make that decision about what you want to do with them. If you want to use them however it is that you like, you can make that decision. You want to use 1, you want to use 2, whatever it happens to be. All right, so I moved my paper by accident. There we go. I think that's going to be better. And I'm just lining this stencil up with where I had it before. And I'm just making sure that I'm getting, there we go. That looks a little bit better. Okay. All right, let's go for it. All right, there we go. And I'm just making sure that it is down and I don't overlap too much with the bottom ones. Oh, using metallic colors on cards. I tend to use acrylic. That, Nima, that would really, really be super, super strong, which I think would be gorgeous. The metallic watercolors I like because I like using them, but I'm definitely not. I'm still learning my painting. So I feel like metallics are forgiving. You can, tell me whatever you think on that one. All right, I want to add this yellow. All right, so I'm grabbing this. I think this is Enchanted Gold. And I'm just going to add this down. I'd love to know if you're a Craft a Flower fan, because we're going to be using a Craft a Flower later. And I'd love to know if that is something that you like to use. And I need to make a decision here. I'm going with the circles with this. And those shimmer sprays, great idea. Nice, quick way. And you can add some splatter as well. Really, really easy to add those along. But you can see how you, just with a little bit of water, and again, I'm trying my best, especially with the stencil, just to keep it not super, super wet, because I don't want this to go underneath my stencil and then kind of get everywhere too. And I'm doing this first before I move on, and that is because I want to make sure that this dries. All right, I think I want to grab some blue. This blue, by the way, is gorgeous. Carrie, I don't know if you're still with me, but this one on the metallic, oh, gorgeous. There's also this green. I have to grab this green. I'm just going to get started. That's just water. There it goes. And I'm going to be painting a thing, and I'm going to do the lily pad out of this because it's so pretty. All right, so I'm going to add this little blue here. All right. And again, this is my background. So most of this is going to be covered up by my flower, but that's okay. You know it's there, and it's those little touches. Those little touches. All right, and triangle here. Yes. Oh my gosh, Vicky. I did not plant Vicky, but Vicky, that's exactly what we're going to be doing next, actually, believe it or not. And I'm going to paint this blue because I screwed that up last time and painted it the wrong color. All right, so that's my blue. So let me pull these off, and then I'm going to hit this really quick with the embossing gun. And you have to remember that this will clean up with water, so it's not a super big deal. But you can see that you now are starting to build that abstract pattern, and it's starting to look pretty cool. All right, so I'm just going to again hit this with my heat gun just to make sure it's dry, and that's because I'm moving from stencil to stencil, and I don't want this to be wet in any way as I go along, but you can start to see this shine, and I'll tilt this into the light so you can really start to see it. It looks really pretty. So you can start to see all that shine. And again, it's an abstract pattern. If you're looking at it going, oh my God, Amy, you got a hot mess on your hands, which I'm thinking too, is that this will make sense in a little bit. All right, so now we got this guy. And Vicki, I'm exactly doing that next time. Oh, wow. I didn't realize that, Joanne. Adriana, you should definitely try this. It's a nice way to get the stencils. You just have to make sure that that stencil and that paper are down, and you can't use too much water. Because if you end up using too much water, then the paint will get under the stencil, and then it's kind of a mess. But you know what? It's only paper, so don't like worry about it too much. It is what it is, and so you just try another side. And I think my guy is broken. Is that possible? All right, so now I'm going to grab some embossing powder. Now I'm going to end up using the. You know what? No, I'm going out on a limb. I'm going to use platinum. I'm going to use the platinum, but I love the metallic embossing folders. The embossing powders. There's 4 of them. There's copper, there's antique gold, rose gold is really, really super pretty, and then there's platinum, and there's also this Altenew peach, which is really, really beautiful. And yes, Nima, I'm using black watercolor paper. And that's because I knew I was going to have like a lot of water on it. So I wanted to make sure that that's what I was doing. All right, so this is going to lay on top, and this is meant to go over a lot of what we had done. And that's why I'm using my last layer with the embossing powder. So I'm just going to lay this down real quick. Now I'm going to come in with my embossing ink. And I am going to just use a blending brush. Now I'm going to use the small ones, and I have one that's specific for embossing ink. And I keep one on hand just for that. Now, another thing, if you're like, yeah, I don't know, Altenew also has these metallic inks. And so this is another option that you can use a metallic ink, but these are a little bit, they're going to be a little bit more translucent. So I wanted to really make sure that this stood out, which is why I want to use the embossing powder. All right, so I'm just going to go in with all of this craziness. And if this was my like absolute, this was my layer and I wanted to make this really, really stand out, I love mixing embossing powders. And I would probably do 1 layer in gold and 1 layer in the platinum. And I think that would be really cool. But I'm going for just a little bit of quicker time because I'm on a 1-hour time constraint. So if you're not on that 1-hour time constraint, one thing that you could do is to mix your embossing powders. And I would just ink this up, put 1 embossing powder down, and then ink up the next one, set that first one and then ink up the next one and then get it going. All right. So this one, I know you can't see. I'm going to put some thing on it, and this might be a mess because of everything we've done to it so far, but we'll see. Well, thanks, Lori. I'm thinking it looks like a little bit of a hot mess, but it's gonna get there, I promise. Or at least in my mind, it's really, really super clear as to where the heck I'm going with this thing. And you could even do like 1/2 of it platinum and 1/2 of it copper. Copper would be really pretty on this right now. All right, there we go. Okay. And this is such a neat, I love mixing something like these abstract patterns, again, with something that's really structured. I think it looks kind of cool together. It gives it a little mixed media effect too, I think, which I am not a super big mixed media person. But I think this is, we can say this is in the realm. Ooh, stained glass effect, yeah. All right, so now we're going to heat this up, and then I'm going to set this aside, and then we're going to start working on that flower. And I was trying to think, like, what color scheme, because this is going to end up being really bright, but I wanted to go with something that's a little bit, I was thinking about pink. I was playing around with purple, so I'm going to go with kind of an in-between with like a pinky red, and I think that would look really pretty. But you can see how this, just doing that embossing on top of this, it looks really cool. And I love doing that with stenciling, where your last layer or that detail layer that just has a little bit of it, I use embossing powder. And I think that looks really, really cool with it. All right, so let's turn this in the light. I also have to take off the top because I still have some powder on there. That's hot. But you can see that shine now. All right, so now I'm going to grab my microfiber cloth and I'm going to do my best. This might get ugly to get the white off. There we go. Now it's coming through. You can see the black. Anybody reminded of this of the 80s? I have some 80s flashbacks coming on right now. I don't know how you feel about that, hon. Yeah, Carrie, this is super fun. And that's where like having these metallics can be cute, cool, right? Isn't that neat? And that's cool. And Sue, that's platinum. That's platinum. I was like, it was a game time decision. I was going to go gold. And I'm like, yeah, I'll go platinum. Isn't that cool? Reminds me of like the 80s. It's like retro 80s, late 80s. I think that's cool. All right. So I'm going to leave this guy to the side. And so that was the Playful Patterns stencil. And before I move on to this, I'm actually going to do and mess around with my second card. So this card is actually going to be a portrait. And what I wanted to do here is I wanted to give it an effect. I actually want to run this through an embossing folder first, just to give it a little bit. Can you have more texture? Is it possible? But this is the Garden Harmony embossing folder. This one is really super pretty. This one's an oldie too. I'm pulling out a lot of oldies for you guys, encouraging you to grab your old stuff. Now I'm going to run this through my embossing folder. So because this is, in fact, let me give it a spritz of water. Here, I'm just going to give it a little bit of water on there. And so because this is like, yes, that's right, Vicky. We did a, yeah. Okay, I'm just looking around. Oh my gosh, so cool. Yes, Vicky, you're right. There's zero waste dies, and those are great because you can do stuff like this with them. And then you have all these pieces. And I think that's pretty cool. All right, so I apologize I'm off camera, but my whole system over here is a little bit of a mess. And my desk, it's starting to get smaller and smaller. I don't know if anybody's desk does that to them, but mine definitely does. All right, so we got this cutting plate, and yeah. All right, I'm just going to run this through. I apologize that this is off camera. Oh, it does. This one's gorgeous. The Garden Harmony is so pretty. And I think it is not, let me try it this way. Y'all, I think I need a new machine. There we go. All right, again, apologize if that's off camera. We'll put it back on camera. And look at this texture. Gorgeous. Look at that. Beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Right, Joanne? It's like it gets so small. I hate it. Like I just need to like push everything off and then, or just have some sort of, I need like Rosie the robot who comes in and just like takes everything away and puts it away where it needs to go. So with this background, you could do a lot of things with this. And I want to use these, but I also wanted to show you, you can come in. So this is the rose gold pigment ink. You could even use the embossing ink, but you can come in and just really gentle add a little bit of shine to the background. And this is just very, very light on here. Now I want this to be subtle because I want to add some flowers to this to add even more texture to it. But just even coming in and just doing a little bit. And if I wanted to really make this stand out, I could use white pigment ink, the white cloud pigment ink, and then add this on top of it, and you really would be great, right? So that is just with just the rose gold pigment ink. And using the antique, actually, I'm going to use the enchanted gold. And I can add, this just adds a little bit of brightness to it. And these are translucent, so they're not super heavy. So you can do stuff like this. And this is even pretty on the black. So that's with the enchanted gold. Really, really super pretty. Yeah, you still end up with a 1 foot space, right, Roxanne? It's so crazy. And I'm so happy, Deborah, that this is your favorite technique. It's so easy to do. Now I can even come in, and I'm going to come in with, oh, here's my little guy. This is one of my, these are like my super favorite greens here. So I'm getting this. I don't want it to be too wet. Just want it to be just enough. And I can come in, and I'm just going to use the side of this, kind of in the same idea, and just add a little bit on to this. And so when you have this mix, and I'm just painting these flowers, and I'm doing this a little messily. It's not perfect, but I can come in and just add a little bit of green. I can even come in and just do the stems, just add a little bit of green here. You can mix it up. You can get it super bright. I did not want that to be that bright, but that's okay. And I'm just going to add a little bit, and it just gives it this little ghostly appearance. And it's just fun to start kind of playing around and just encourage that shine. So absolutely gorgeous. Yes, I was thinking about that too, Mary, but about putting the ink on before I put in, but this way I get to kind of layer it. And so that's why I'm doing it afterwards. A lot of times I will do it before I run it through my embossing folder, but I knew I wanted to ink it. I wanted to do some different things with it. And so that's just kind of adding just a little bit as we go along. So again, our topic today is about adding shine and some different ways to do it. So we looked at metallic paints, we looked at embossing ink, and we're going to be looking at some other stuff too. All right. So pretty on that folder. And I encourage you to take a look at Garden Harmony. Thank you so much, Seahorse. It's something that, just kind of think about, how can I add that little bit of texture or add that little bit of shine with this? Okay, so I'm going to move my paints. We're going to come back to this. I need them again. But I'm just going to clear up my little workspace, because now we're going to bring in the actual star of our show. Finally, with 20 minutes to spare. By the way, please, if you're watching this and you're enjoying it, please share this live while we're live, and you will be entered to win a gift card to Altenew. And we have Han behind the badge today, so let's give Han a little bit of love. So excited that she's here. The Dream Team is back, right, Han, on a Monday? And a gloomy Monday where we are. All right, so I'm grabbing these. Now, what I liked about this set is that it's has a large flower. Really gotta get these off. It has a really large flower, but then it also has these tiny flowers. And I also love that it has sentiments with it. I'll show you what those are in just a second. Now, with the keyhole system, I kind of know what the heck goes with what. And that's the beauty of this. And I'll show you what I'm talking about in just a moment. All right, so I'm going to go back to the cutting guides. All right, so what we have is this first flower has this little keyhole. Looks like an old-fashioned keyhole. And so that is how I know that all of these little keyhole guys are together. And this one is an arrow, and I can start to see that it's going to change. And so those arrows are going to line up with each other, but there's a little keyhole in there. So I got all these. And then this one's neat because it comes with 2 sentiments. And I love that. I love the fact that it comes with a sentiment. A lot of these don't. The Crafted Flowers don't, but this one does. It comes with beautiful and hello. You can use them independently. You could use them together to make like hello beautiful. And I love that. And that's exactly it, Carrie. So that there's a bud that's included with this. And this is the little bud. And so I'm not going to do the bud here with this guy. I'm going to do the bud separately on the other card. And so I'm actually going to use the big, huge flower on this one. And then I'm going to use the buds on this one. And I thought that this would be such a beautiful backdrop. I don't know if I'm going to get to the buds today, but it's all along the same idea. So, oh, that's lovely. A crocus, Adriana. Oh my gosh. They do have like all of their flowers that they come with are just gorgeous. Okay. So now I have this. I want to make, so this is my backdrop here. And I want my flower to be a little bit more on the pinky purpley side because I thought that would look pretty with this. But then you have this really cool looking lily pad, and I want this to be green. And so I'm actually going to grab a piece of cardstock that I am going to just color the dickens out of with on this. Okay. So now what I want to do here is I want to lay down some color. I'm going to let this dry. And again, I'm using my number 6 brush. So I'm just laying some wet down. And then I'm going to come in with my little bit of my darkest green. And again, I apologize. I'm not super great with these names, but the names are on the bottom of each of the pans. And then also the names of each of the colors are on the back of the packaging. And I already put my packaging somewhere. I don't know where that is. All right. So I'm going to die cut my little guy out of this. So I'm just looking for him to be about that size. I want him to be a little bit brighter. And I'm just going to add in some other colors here. Just to give it a little bit of a mix, just so it's not all that same one color. And I'm even going to add in, I want to add in a little bit of, ooh, I'm mixing my paints now. So sorry, everybody. Just want to add in a little bit of, that's why you can't get me into this. All right, just add a little bit of this. Just want to add a little bit of that. All right, so that one I'm just going to let settle. Now, I'm not going to do these other ones out of metallic paints. I want to do them out of other ones. So, oh, Deb, thank you so much for sharing. And thank you guys so much for sharing. And, oh my gosh, Paula, I'm so glad that you are here. And we are, we'll place an order, Paula, but you got to have these paints, Paula. So what we're talking about today is shine, like what kinds of things can I do to add on to shine or to add shine onto my projects? And so I'm talking about metallic watercolors, which are right over here. And we've also talked about embossing. And now I'm going to add in some, I don't want this color. Yes, I do. We're also going to be talking about using some glitter paper. So this is the rose petal. I think I'm using rose petal. Yes, I don't have the front card anymore. This is rose petal though, Han. This is the gradient cardstock. All right, so I'm going to take a look at my cutting guide, and I'm going to go ahead and line these suckers up on my mat and run them through my embossing folder. Run them through my embossing machine. This guy I'm going to leave over to the side, and we will get there soon. All right. So now, I also love to, when I use Craft-A-Flower, I love to use the gradient cardstocks. And I don't have the new set because now they come as like a little bit bigger. But I love these because they work in the mini blossom. And it's nice because they're already colored. So when I can add depth of color to these, and just to give you, I did this card earlier or for something. And so this just started out as this exact same paper set. And you can just add in ink colors. And you can get this amazing depth of color on all of these. And so that's what I encourage you to do. If you start with white, which you definitely can, it just takes a little while for that color to develop. All right, so I'm just organizing these guys. I'm trying to find number 1. This has got to be number 1. And it looks like I'm just going right along with what the heck is going on with this. And so I'm just going to color him. He's just going to come right out of there. Okay, so that's my 1. And then this one is 2. Nope, that's that one. That's the same guy, right? That's a different guy. And this guy, there's my 2. He's going to come out of a little bit of a darker color, but a little bit brighter. So we're going to do a couple of these out of here. So, oh, it's a go, Paula. It is. It's nice and have an idea. Like, you know, you can buy something, but it's, you know, have an idea of how you wanna use it. And I usually have like something in mind. And then for me, when I buy stuff, because I'm ridiculously frugal, or I like to think of myself as ridiculously frugal, is I like to make sure that I can use it for multiple things. And then I know, okay, I feel okay about this. It's something that I know that I will be able to use and use and use again and again. All right, so I got 5 and 6 are these little beginning guys. So that's these guys that look like little hands. Let's pop them out of there. Okay, 1 and 2. And I know if you use your heat tool, you can loosen the sticky off of this, but that's all right. Okay, and then I got this guy. And again, I'm just lining this up, just kind of basing it off of what's here. And I'm using the guide to tell me what color paper is, because I honestly just don't want to think about it right now. I just want to have some fun and make some stuff. That's all I really want to do. Okay, I think I like that one. I think I'm going to change that over to this color. All right, so I'm just kind of messing some stuff around. I want to switch this to here. I think I'm going to do that here, and I'm going to go here with that. Switch that around. Okay. All right. So now that I have everything all set, I'm going to run this through my machine. Oh, thank you so much, Paula. I appreciate that. All right. So then let me just run this through. And honestly, if I cut this off and that off, I think I can get this all in one go. This is what I love doing. One pass, guys. Can I do it? One pass. I think I got it. Oh my gosh. This is amazing. Han, it's because you're with me today. Now let's just make sure it goes through my die cutter machine. All right, guys. Here we go. So I have it all lined up. So everything's on there. And I love how it works through with one pass. Oh, it's fabulous. Now, the other thing that I like to do, you'll notice that I was saying before about how my space gets really, really super small. I love to use the mini blossom, which is the little mini guy. And I think he's somewhere lost on my desk, which is why we don't see him. And but he is fabulous, and that's why these 3x6 sheets are made the way they are, because they're made to be used in the mini blossom. No, I hate you. I just noticed something bad. Hold on. Oh, that's bad. That's right. Oh, so close, guys. So close. Oh no, that jumped on me. All right, we're close. I just got to run through these 2 ones in this dark pink. And otherwise, we're good. These messed up, guys. These messed up. That's okay. It's paper. That's why we get more paper. More paper than we know what to do with, right, everybody? We tried. Needed a second pass. Yeah, I'm kind of, I'm in that camp right now of like, maybe it's time. Let's do machines kind of like run out or something, like they stop working for a while? I had this one for a while. All right, there we go. Okay, so now I got all my little pieces. And I'm going to move my little scrap papers. Now, the way I keep these is I have a little plastic container. And that way I can keep my little odds and ends in. so I don't have them like all over the place, and it's easy for me to find them. So I do hold on to my little odds and ends, and I just keep them around. Okay. All right. Let's see how this guy's doing. All right. So because I added like way too much water on this guy, I'm just taking a moment to dry him off. And so this is going to be my lily pad. And while I have my die cutter machine right next to me, I'm just going to take a moment to die cut out my lily pad, and then we'll put all of these guys together. Okay, so that fits nice. Put that on here. And I'm just going to die cut him out too. All right. Yeah, right, Charlene? I'm getting close. I feel like it might be time because I'm having a little bit of some stuff. Sometimes it goes through well, sometimes it doesn't. Might be time. Might be time. All right. And there's my lily pad. Yeah. And I have to tell you, one thing I do because, you know, I'm really about, you know, I think the one thing I don't like about crafting is we always sit or you're standing like in one place. And as much as we think blending is cardio, it's really not. But I try to put like my die cutting machine is in another portion of my room. So it forces me to get up and like walk over there. So that way I have to do it. So that's where my little lily pad's going to be. And now let's go ahead and put these little guys together. Somewhere I have a craft book. And the gnome stole it. So with these keyhole systems, it's so super easy to put together. So I'm going to use two things. One is I'm going to use the pieces of paper themselves because they are numbered and they have a little keyhole system. And I'm also going to use my cutting guide. And that's going to tell me where the heck everything is and how I get to it. Now for these, when I have the insert, so I didn't do the little stamen and the little flower parts that go in the middle. I am going to do those out of glitter paper. And that's where I love to just add like a little bit of a touch of shine because it's a little unexpected. Those are usually hidden in there, and but they're kind of cool. So they're nice to see. All right. So I'm going to, is that everybody? That's everybody. All right. So I think we got everybody. So like I said, with the keyhole system, so this is number 1 and this is number 2. So I can line up both of these and then that's how I know where the heck they go is right there. So that's the nice thing. And then here's number 3. And so that's going to line up right here. And I'm just dry fitting this so we can kind of see where everything goes to it. And now I'm going to look at number 4. Whoops, hold on. Here he is. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So now here's number 4. And the reason why I'm dry fitting this is because I'm going to be adding a little bit of ink just to kind of to give it some shine. All right. 5 and 6, I still got to do. Then here comes this guy is 7. Then this little guy is 8, and he comes right under here. And this one is 9, and he kind of covers all of it. So that's going to go along right there. And that's going to be our little flower. How pretty, huh? No, without this keyhole system, I got to tell you, I'd be sitting here flustered all the time with you. And so that's what it's going to end up looking like. And so you have this gorgeous, gorgeous thing. Now, my background might be a little bit too distracting. So I think I'm going to try something on there in just a second. But that's the idea. That was my original idea. And, I'm so glad that you're here, Yuling. And it's 5:24 a.m. Oh my gosh. So good morning. And I hope you're having a fabulous day already. And yes, thank you so much for saying that, Carrie. If you enter to win this live, if you just let us know that you shared this while we're live, you'll be entered to win a gift card to Altenew. All right, so I have that. Now my background is a little distracting because I'm losing my flower. So I'm going to fix that in just a second. But I'm going to take a moment and I want to cut these guys out of some paper. So I don't want to cut both of these out of glitter paper because number one, then they'll be really hard to attach. And this is what they happen to look like. So they're right on top of each other. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do the back one out of gold paper, and then I'm going to do the front one out of glitter paper. And the gold paper I'm going to pick is the brush gold metallic cardstock. And this stuff is gorgeous. This comes in 4 colors. We have brush gold, we have copper, and there is rose gold, and there is silver. And they're all just absolutely beautiful. And they cut so well. It's a nice sturdy cardstock, and it just gives this really cool little metallic shine. And I don't need that much, so I'm just going to cut a little corner. And again, I save this stuff like nobody's business. And then I'm going to grab some gold as well. And I'm going to grab my other box. And these are the boxes that I keep all my little bits in. And I just grab a bunch. And so I'm just going to grab whatever I have that I've already cut into, which of course is none of these. So that means I got to do a new one. And there's even some gorgeous green. You know what? I think I might. No, that's going to be too much. I'm going to go for this, I'm going to go for that gold. It looks nice. So I'm with you, Mary. Rose gold. Yes, rose gold. The rose gold is the best, Deb, isn't it? Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Exactly, Carrie. Carrie's, you're after my own heart. You have to keep those little pieces because you're right. They work great as flower centers. That's why I'm like, oh, I have to cut into an entire piece just for this flower center. It's killing me right now that I have to do that. All right, so I'm going to put that there, and I'm just going to run these guys through. Now, what's nice because I have everything out already that I can take this and I can just make the rest of it. So actually, I'm going to take this one. Look how nicely that die cuts. Just die cut right through there. I have this Hello Beautiful. And I'm actually just going to die cut this out of a little bit more gold cardstock. Just while I'm here. And I have it going. And I'm going to do the hello in this bright gold. So I think that will be fun. All right, then we got it. And I know I'm running out of time, and I promise I will put this together real soon. Yes, and this is the water lily. So this is the Craft-A-Flower water lily, and in the background of this is the abstract patterns layering stencil, and I did that using the metallic watercolors. And we are talking about how do you get that nice color? Like, how do you really get this really super nice color? All right, I'm going to kind of play around with this a little bit. And I know I'm cheating because I'm bringing in a piece of cardstock that I've already embossed, but you guys are with me. You're going to allow me to cheat a little bit here. So I'm just going to cut this down so it is really small. I'm also using the back side of it because I don't want too much texture on there. So I think I'm going to cut this down to 3.5 by 3.5 by 3.5 square. 3.5 by 3 because that's what I did. Cut that down. That's 3. I'll cut that down. 2.5. There we go. Okay. All right. This is just going to give me a little white space in order to put my flower so my flower doesn't get lost on me here. Okay, so a couple of things. I'm going to dry fit this, everybody. And I know I'm cheating, but it's only because of interest of time. Right, Han? Because Han has to go. She can't hang out with us all day, even though I know she would love to. She has to go. All right. So I'm going to show you guys. I'm just going to glue these little guys together. And this is where, when you have just that little bit of metallic shine, it really helps just to kind of elevate your project. So just think about those little tiny accents where you can add a little bit of something. And so now when I take this and I put this over. That's 4. Let's see, that's 3. This is 4. So now when I take 5 and 6 and I put that right over that keyhole, and then I start to cover them up with these other pieces, now that's just peeking right out of there. All right, and I apologize. This is dry fitting right now. And now I have my gorgeous little lily pad. So now when I put these all down, you can start to see them elevate. And so we still have this crazy background, but now we have that up there. So I also have our Hello Beautiful. The Hello I ended up doing in the glitter cardstock because it's a little bit smaller. And the Beautiful has this great script font. And so I wanted to make sure that that was in this metallic cardstock because it's just going to look a little bit nicer. And it does have a separate eye, and that is right now inside of my die. I'm not going to pull that out right now. But this is what we would end up with. So now we have this really cool looking piece. And so it's really, really cool. So again, we're talking about adding that shine and adding those pieces. So we have the metallic in the background. We have the metallic even in the lily pad, and I can add a little bit more detail using some inks and even using some more metallic inks here. We have the shine from the cardstock, and then we have a little bit of a shine hiding in there. Isn't it so cute? And thank you so much, Mrs. Tamp. It's something cool. And I might even make this white piece just a little bit bigger because I think that abstract background's getting a little bit lost. I think everything's getting a little bit lost. But by just adding that white, it really kind of tones down that abstract background. Oh, that would be nice too. So if I did that and put the vellum on there, that would be nice. I'll try that. I'll try that as well. So I just wanted to thank you guys so much. And my second card that would be coming uses this background. And again, this is that embossing folder. I think it's Leafy Canopy. Lost the piece of it. And I just added some metallic elements to it. And this one, I would be using the buds. So I'm still going to use that Hello Beautiful, and I can just put that on here. Look at how nice that looks on the black cardstock. Oh, gorgeous, right? So even that's pretty. I love that. But I was going to use those pink buds and have those pink buds come off the sides, so nice. It might be Paula because I might be a little too close to the camera. So, all right. I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. And Han, thank you so much. And thanks for letting me go over. I appreciate it. And thank you so much for just taking a little bit of time for yourself out of the day and letting Altenew craft your life. All right, everybody, you have a fabulous day, and I'll see you later.